Everyone, this is Nick with Nick Does DJI, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'll be going over my thoughts on the CV vaccine progress, as well as my third update to the M1 Finance portfolio. So please continue watching until the end. All right, let's get into it. It is Friday morning, December 4th. We are now in the last month of 2020, and who here agrees with me that this has been the longest year of your life? We are nearing almost 9 months into quarantine, and with cases rapidly growing, it is literally a race against time to get the vaccines rolled out. And yesterday, Thursday, December 3rd, we just saw another record-breaking case count of 216,548 cases in this country. And just a couple of weeks ago, I never would have imagined, this country hitting over 150,000 cases a day, yet alone 200,000 cases a day. And in retrospect, I thought this surge in the spring was bad, and then I thought the surge in the summer was, especially bad. But then who would have thought that case count would have quadrupled during these past couple of weeks? And this report just came out on unemployment growth slow sharply in November. Non-payrolls only increased by 245,000. I'm assuming that's a typo at this time of the recording. In November, while the unemployment rate was 6.7%. On the flip side, economists have been looking at 444 jobs expected. So that's a huge discrepancy right there. And that's almost 200,000 less jobs than what economists have been expecting. And that's just due to, like I said, right here, all this explosive growth, especially in the month of November right here. That really kind of paused on a lot of hiring as more states, cities, and localities enacted more shutdowns again. And there's more than 100,000 people hospitalized across the country due to the outbreak. And this has really put a damper on the job growth. But overseas, the UK has become the first country in the world to approve the Pfizer/BioNTech vaccine, with over 800,000 doses incoming. And the elderly, care home staff, individuals over 80, and healthcare workers are at the top on the list to receive the vaccine. But with the UK paving the way for the vaccine rollout, where does the US stand? We'll have to wait a couple more weeks. With each vaccine candidate, the FDA, specifically the Vaccine and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee, needs to convene and formally approve and issue an emergency use authorization. The FDA is meeting next Thursday, December 10th, where the committee will most likely approve the Pfizer vaccine. As for the Moderna vaccine candidate, the committee will meet the following Thursday, December 17th, to discuss the request for the emergency use authorization from Moderna. With all these good news in their horizon, are there any obstacles? The first obstacle will inevitably be quality assurance problems with the vaccines themselves. This just came out yesterday as well. An article that says that Pfizer had to revise its guidance downward on the number of shipments for 2020, aka the rest of this month, because of raw materials and early production didn't meet its standard. More specifically, they had issues with the ultra cold storage requirement of minus 70 degrees Celsius, because this whole supply chain requires especially specialized refrigerators for storage and dry ice for shipping throughout the distribution process. So It expected to ship out 100 million doses this month, but they reduced that to 50 million. However, it still expects to ship more than 1 billion doses in the year 2021. And because the CB vaccine requires 2 separate doses, 1 billion doses will mean that about 500 million people will be vaccinated, at least just from the Pfizer vaccine. Along with Moderna and potentially other drug makers, including Johnson & Johnson, up to a third of Americans, or roughly 100 million people, could be vaccinated by the end of February. And as I expected, CVS and Walgreens are gearing up to deliver most of the vaccine doses, at least for the United States, including 15,600 nursing homes, 29,000 assisted living and 29,000 assisted living communities. And then there's also a public education push to educate people more about the vaccine. More recently, President Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton have all pledged to get vaccinated on television to promote the safety of the vaccine. And quote, Obama says, if Fauci tells me this is safe, I'm going to take it. But an obstacle that is not so much part of the manufacturing process, but is the hesitation to accept the vaccine in the first place. To preface this, I am not promoting either side of the political spectrum, and I'm just here to state the facts. The percentage of Americans willing to get vaccinated took a hit leading up to the elections for obvious reasons, but in recent weeks have since improved. Surveys now say that almost 6 in 10 Americans will be willing to take the vaccine. However, that also means about 40% of the general population won't take the vaccine, even if it is readily available to them. And that can be a problem, at which point we would have to hope for herd immunity. I want to briefly go over the concept of herd immunity. Herd immunity basically occurs when a large portion of the community, aka the herd, becomes immune to COVID, making the spread of COVID from person to person unlikely. And the herd immunity threshold is a percentage of the population capable of getting COVID in order for it to spread. Health experts have estimated that at least 60 to 70% of the population must be immune, either through vaccinations or natural infections, for herd immunity to work. However, there is no definitive number. And for example, measles, which is a especially highly contagious illness, it is estimated that 94% of the population must be immune to interrupt the chain of transmission. But time will tell, but the light is at the end of the tunnel, and I am hopeful that 2021 will be the year that we are all able to turn the page over and move past this chapter. All right, now let's hop on over to the Nick Does DGI portfolio. So here is the M1 Finance portfolio. I'll put the referral link in the description below. And as you can see, here is our performance. Yesterday, we were up by about 0.26%, or $14.54. The past week, we are up by 0.24%, or $13.05. This past month, we are up by 7.22%, or $342.83. And all, because this account was just started a little over 3 months ago, we are up by 10.87%, or a gain of $370.37. And all these gains and returns, they're either a combination of all market capital gains, or aka share appreciation, and dividends combined. And then the rate of return is just a money weighted return, so which is the same meaning basically that includes the share price gain as well as the dividends from each respective company. Now, I made some changes to the portfolio. Namely, if you saw my last portfolio update, I had some cash, a couple $100 in my cash balance. But with the market, continuing to do pretty well amidst the surge and the CB cases, I just decided to invest now and just continue adding even when the market dips in the future. So as you can see, on December 1st, I made 3 buys. I purchased Bow Realty. I put $15 in that. I put $10 in AT&T, and then I put another $10 in WPC. And then on November 30th, I spent substantially a lot more. I spread out $225 over 20 different companies, which you can see right here. And then one other additional change to the portfolio is actually the weighting target. I actually bumped up Apple to 5% of the portfolio. Meanwhile, I bumped down Simon Property Group just because the price has gone up a little bit. I'm also thinking about rebalancing in the coming weeks. I just feel like some of these companies have gone has run a little too high, such as like Costco or in Starbucks. But I still believe in all these companies, so I'll probably still continue to invest in all of them. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have become a Plus member. I took their offer, their Black Friday November holiday deal for $50, and I'm really excited to start using the features of M1 Plus. I really want to especially take advantage of Borrow. Now that I am a Plus member in the future, once my portfolio hits $10,000, I can borrow at the lowest rates possible at this current moment at 2%. And I'll make a very detailed video once I am able to borrow, or I'll actually borrow in real time once I reach that point. But my idea is that you can borrow 35% of your portfolio value at 2% interest rate. And the strategy here is that I can either invest in growth stocks where the growth will hopefully be way over 2%, or I can invest in solid dividend growth stocks where their starting yield can be around 2 to 3%, but then they are growing their dividends between 5 and 10% each year. And in theory, as long as the interest rates remain low for at least the first couple of years, then I'll be making my money's worth using Borrow. And I'm really excited for to show that with you guys in the future. And last thing I wanted to talk about is this Reddit article that I came across a couple of days ago. It's kind of telling. If you click on it, there is a job position with M1 Finance that are based out in Chicago. But the title of the position, it's General Manager Credit Cards. And right now, M1 Finance does not publicly have a credit card. They just have the M1's debit card, which I haven't looked into yet. I might, do a review of that later when I go over a general review of M1 Finance as a brokerage. But this is pretty interesting because it sounds like they are now trying to get into the credit card game. Actually, they have a lot of perks if you want to join the company, but I'm not based in Chicago. But I am wondering if they will come out with a credit card. I'd be interested. Hopefully, the reward points or system is, worth it for me to switch over from my BOA premium rewards credit card. Uh, I mean, I'm curious because I love M1 Finance, and I definitely advocate for this brokerage for a lot of people who are looking to start investing in the market, and we'll have to see. So that's a wrap. Thank you again for watching this video. For the YouTube algorithm, don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, and share this video with everyone. The more engagement I get, the more likely my videos will show up on the YouTube algorithm. All right, bye.